The narcissist knows what they're doing. The psychopath knows exactly what they're doing. And they have their victims. They put their victims under a spell. They study their victims long before any of this even starts to happen. They study them even more during the course of the relationship. They know your weakness. They know that you have hope. They know that you're going to continue giving them the benefit of the doubt. And if going to therapy is what it takes to keep you hooked, then they'll comply. And if the therapist is not trained in spotting a psychopath or spotting narcissistic behavior, and believe me, I've worked with a lot of therapists that are not, I'm not going to even say qualified, but they just don't have the experience because they haven't lived it. They may have taken the test to get their license or whatever, but they haven't lived it. Oftentimes, they will get manipulated by the narcissist, by the psychopath. Other times, and this is true too, other times they see it for what it is. They might call the victim to the side and tell them, hey, this is what's going on. Your wife or your husband is showing these traits, showing these patterns. Sometimes they don't care. They just want to get paid and go home, because at the end of the day, it's a job. You got your own life. You got things to do. Sometimes they've done this work for so long that they know that the victim's not going to listen to reason, so they just sit there and watch the circus show. They do their best to give their advice. That's all they can do. That's all they're qualified to do. So it's sad when I get these emails and I can read between the lines. I can see what they're trying to tell me, and I can tell that they're embarrassed to say it. They know it's not going to end well as they're typing those words. You know how a parent wants to spare their children pain by telling them not to touch the hot stove, not to stick their finger in the socket, not to do all these other things that experience has taught them leads to horrific consequences, but the child has to go and get burned sometimes a few times to learn. That's kind of how everything is in life. We share our advice, we give our advice, sometimes unsolicited. Unsolicited advice usually goes in one ear and out the other. But it's more painful when someone comes to you for help and they listen to the abuser instead, and they listen to the narcissist, they listen to the psychopath. You're telling them, hey, this person over here is a master manipulator. This person over here has shown you time and time again that they just want to cause you pain, and they have no agency, they have no empathy, they have no love for you, because if they did, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Think about it, guys. Everyone, listen very carefully. Do you think that if you were in a happy, healthy relationship, you would be watching YouTube videos like this? Honestly, is that what you would be watching for your entertainment? I can tell you, I never watched a narcissist video. I didn't know what narcissist personality disorder was. As far as I was concerned, a narcissist was someone that was vain, that looked at themselves in the mirror or in the river to admire their reflection. That's as far as I knew. That word, if I ever heard that word, was instantly dismissed by my brain. It meant absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, when I was Googling information about why I couldn't get over this girl, why did I not feel brokenhearted, and yet my brain was shattered, why I would wake up with anxiety, why would I go into panic attacks? I did not love her. I was not brokenhearted. I was angry. I was betrayed. I was broken. I was devastated. It made no sense. And I would stumble upon articles, posts, and internet forums that would say stuff like narcissist made no freaking sense to me. I remember when I read the word psychopath and I quickly dismissed it because I was like, no, a psychopath is like Dexter Morgan or the Joker or something like that. Little did I know that that's exactly what they were. The more I learned, when I finally decided to give that information a chance and read, I was shocked that everything I was reading was exactly what I had experienced and what I was going through. And I reached out to someone who turned out to be my mentor long term. And they told me exactly how it was. Do you think for a minute I questioned my mentor when he spent 7 hours completing my sentences, validating my pain, my anxiety, my confusion, the only one that was actually able to give me the answers that I had been seeking for months? Nobody could answer. Nobody could make me feel better. Nothing made sense. No. I did not question him. He gave me a book to read. I read it that very same night. By the next day, I was done with the book. I was like, oh my God, this is my story. How did you know? And I did exactly what he told me to do. Because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I wanted to be who I once was. I wanted to feel happy again. I wanted to feel love again. I wanted to feel excitement. Because the psychopath, the narcissist, had robbed me of all those things. And sometimes I get passionate when I remember how low I went, how low I fell, how hard I fell. But I did not question my mentor. I did not question the information that was clearly put in front of me to spare my life, because it made complete sense. I would be a fool to turn my back on that and do the complete opposite. But many times in my early journey, I did not heed the words of the wise, and I got burned. And this applies in any situation, not just narcissistic abuse. This applies in business, investments, people that you hang out with, some decisions, some tough decisions you need to make, and they're telling you exactly what you need to do. They've been there, they have the experience, and you don't want to let go of hope. You want to do it your way because you think you know better. But your best thinking got you here, didn't it? Your best thinking got you here. So I ask you, would you be spending all this time watching these videos if you were in a happy, healthy relationship with your husband or your wife, with your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Or these are the type of videos that you'd be watching in the mornings and at night before you go to bed, or at 3 a.m. when you wake up from a nightmare? Are these the videos that you're going to be watching? Because let me tell you, I never watch narcissist videos myself. I know there are millions of them right now. I know everyone and anyone is a narcissist abuse coach now. I know that anyone and everyone can just upload a video from their phone, regurgitating garbage using AI to create the content. I know all that. I still don't want to see that slop. It's not the type of thing I need to see. I'm not in that situation. So if you're watching this right now, it's because you're in this situation, or you've been in this situation and you still need a reminder. One thing that I've learned in my healing journey, and believe me, I've been on this path for a very long time, even before I got entangled with a psychopath narcissist. The healing journey is a lifelong journey, guys. One thing that I learned is that you cannot tell people what to do. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. One thing that I love about the 12-step program, if you guys are familiar with 12-step work, is that you give the survivors, you give the people in the rooms a chance to be heard. You give them a chance to speak, to share their feelings, to share their situation. And nobody crosstalks. Nobody tells them what to do. Nobody tells them they're foolish. Nobody tells them anything. They just listen. And when they're done sharing, someone else shares. If they're lucky, someone in those rooms has already healed or has already been through the same situation, and they'll cleverly share a story, an experience, offering strength and hope. And hopefully that person that's suffering right now will listen to that story and will draw inspiration from it, and will secretly, and I do mean secretly, they'll go home and they'll put to practice some of the things that they heard that resonated with them. That's how I was able to heal. That's how I was able to put the pieces back together in many situations that I found myself in. before even encountering something as evil and sadistic as a psychopath. A lot of those lessons have stayed with me. A lot of those lessons I teach on my coaching program. But you have to walk the path for yourself. And telling someone what to do when they're in that vulnerable state, when you can see that the narcissist has control over them, it just doesn't work. All right, guys, so if you got some value from this clip and would like to see some more stuff, click right here. And if you would like to see the entire video, click right here.